Good afternoon. Today we are going to learn about full stack web development. Unit 2 front end development. So myself Mr.S.Christal Anand, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, Beltech Multitech, Dr. Rangarajan, Dr. Sauntala, Engineering College. Now we are going to learn about HTML5 and CSS. So HTML5 focus on better structure, multimedia support and application like functionality, while CSS3 introduces advanced styling, layouts and animations. So there are different key features of HTML5. First one is semantic elements. So semantic elements replaces generic div tags with meaningful ones like header, footer, navigations, article, section, and aside for better document structure and SEO. So second one, multimedia tag. So that is support for audio and video tags, allowing multimedia to be embedded directly without plugins. Third one, Canvas API. So that is enables dynamic scriptable rendering of 2D shapes and bitmap images for games and visualizations. Form enhancements, new input types like date, email, URL, number, range, and attributes like placeholder, required, autofocus for better user input validations. Next one, web storage. Web storage provide local storage, that is persistent, and session storage, temporary, to store data on the client side, offering a more secure and efficient alternative to cookies. Next one, geolocation API. So geolocation API allows user to share their physical location with web applications. Next one, drag and drop API. So drag and drop API native support for making element draggable. Final one, offline web applications. Applications catch or enable web apps to function without an internet connections. So this HTML5, there are lot of benefit are there: offline support, freedom from app store restrictions, multi-platform support, CSS styles, so CSS3 based animations, so use of advanced UI components, support for geolocation services, and video and audio streaming support. Now we will see key features of CSS3. First one is flex box and grid layout. Second one is animations and transitions. Third one is border effect. Fourth one is gradients and transparencies. Fifth one is web fonts. Sixth one is media queries. Seventh one is CSS variables, that is custom properties. So the flex box and grid layout, it is a modern layout models that makes it easier to design complex responsive layout with the proper alignment, width and spacing. Second one, animations and transitions allows for smooth animations, transitions and hover effect directly in CSS, reducing the need for JavaScript. The third one, border effects. The border effect includes border radius, which means rounded corners, box shadow, which means shadows, and border images. Next one, gradients and transparencies. So native support for linear and radial gradients along with RGBA and HSLA functions for all-bar transparency. Next one, web fonts. Font face allow developers to use custom fonts that are not installed on the user computer. Next one, media queries. So media queries a foundation of responsive design. So media queries allowing style to change based on the screen size, resolution or device orientation. Final one, CSS variables. So that enables defining and reusing values throughout a style sheet for easier maintenance. So these all the things comes under the features of CSS3. So benefit of CSS3: freedom from App Store restriction, cross-platform device support, CSS-based animation, advanced UI components, geolocation services and support, video and audio streaming support, finally offline support. So advantages of CSS3: compatible with older versions. This compatible property will help designer not give up an older version of CSS codes. Simple and independent. CSS3 is made of small modules which make the applications easier and simpler to use. View and change friendly. Due to CSS3 having small modules, it's simple to change where particularly developer need and no need of massively change. Images and animations. To enhance the image quality and 3D animations support. Same like disadvantage of CSS3. Come in different levels. Among all CSS versions having confusion among developers and web browser. Fragmentations. Sometimes based on browser, the output may differ. Lack of security. CSS does not having built-in security, so whoever having access to website can change or override easily. Next one, responsive design with CSS framework. So Bootstrap framework. Bootstrap is a free, open source front-end framework designed to streamline the development of responsive mobile-first websites. Core principles of Bootstrap responsive design: mobile-first approach, 12-column grid system, breakpoints, viewports, meta tag. So mobile first approach, Bootstrap prioritize smaller screen first and uses media queries to scale up components for larger screen. 12-column grid system, the layout is based on a flexible container, row and column system that allow precise control over elements, width and alignment across devices. Breakpoints. Bootstrap uses specific viewports width to trigger layout changes. Example, 576 pixel for extra small, greater than or equal to 576 pixel for small, greater than or equal to 768 pixel for medium, greater than or equal to 992 pixel for large, greater than or equal to 1200 pixel for extra large. Viewport meta tag. To ensure proper rendering, the following tag must be included in the HTML header. So example, meta name equal to viewport content equal to width equal to device width, initial scale 1.0. Now we will see key components for responsiveness: containers, rows and columns, utility classes, navigation and components. So container, we can use dot container of fixed width or container hyphen fluid full width, or used to wrap content and control its alignment. Rows and columns. Content is organized into row element which contain columns, then classes to define how many columns an element should span on a given device size. Utility classes. Bootstrap provides classes for spacing, means margin or padding, text alignment, which means align it into the center, and visibility, none or block, to quickly adjust layout without writing custom CSS. Fourth one, navigations and components. Predefined, sorry, pre-designed elements like nav bars and cards automatically adapt to screen size changes. So advantages. Advantages: faster prototyping. Faster prototyping in the sense of ready-made components speed up development. Then cross-browser compatibility. So the cross-browser compatibility consists of appearance across browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and Edge. Consistency. Provide a unified design. Provide a unified design and code standard for teams. Customization. Themes and styles can be tailored using SASS variables. Then container queries for components that need to respond to the size of their parent container. You can use the container class and the variants like @empty flex row. So here there are some of the Bootstrap versions are there. Bootstrap 5 that currently it is going on, features enhanced CSS variables for easier customization, improved grid system, and removed dependency on jQuery for faster performance. Bootstrap 4 introduced Flexbox for grid system, providing more advanced layout options. Bootstrap 3, older version still in use, often found in legacy projects. So here, best practices: avoid overriding, then use utilities, and selectively load components. So avoid overriding means instead of overriding core CSS, use custom CSS to modify styles. use utilize utility classes to reduce CSS bloat. Selectively load components. Load only necessary JavaScript components to improve performance. So now we will see JavaScript fundamentals. JavaScript is a programming language used to create dynamic content for websites. It is a lightweight, cross-platform, and single-threaded programming language. It is an interpreted language that executes code line by line, providing more flexibility. So it is a client-side scripting language. So on the client side, JavaScript works along with the HTML and CSS. So HTML adds structure to a web page and CSS styles it. JavaScript brings it to life by allowing user to interact with elements on the page, such as actions on clicking buttons, filling out forms, and showing animations. JavaScript on the client side is directly executed in the user browser. So this is the small architecture of client-side JavaScript. So that HTML, JavaScript and CSS, it is connected together. So that JavaScript add logic to the HTML and there is a user interaction, update the styles dynamically to the CSS doing that style contents to the HTML. So overall it is web page in the browser which will show to the viewers. Server side. So server side, on the server side, it is a web server. JavaScript used to access databases, file handling, and security features to send responses to browsers. So in this architecture shows that server-side JavaScript, the web browser giving the request to the server through the browsers. So server first handling the request, then handling the logic, then handle the database layer. So there are three layers are there: database layer, service layer, and control layer. So it is doing the process. So database layer accessing the data from the database and it is given to the handle logic, which means it is service layer, and it is given to the handling request. Finally it is transferred to the web browser as a response of the particular request. So here key features of JavaScript. So what are the key features of JavaScript? So first one is client-side scripting. Next one is versatile. Then event-driven, asynchronous, rich ecosystem. So client-side scripting, it is nothing but JavaScript runs on a user browser. So it has a faster response time without needing to communicate with the server. Versatile can be used for a wide range of tasks from simple calculations to complex server-side applications. Then event-driven responds to user actions like click, keystrokes in real time. Asynchronous, it can handle tasks like fetching data from server without freezing the user interface. Rich ecosystem. There are numerous libraries and frameworks built on JavaScript such as React, Angular, and Vue.js, which make development faster and more efficient. So there are different data types in JavaScript. So primitive data types, non-primitive data types. Primitive data types contain numeric and non-numeric types. So numeric types contain number and big integer. Non-numeric type contains string, boolean, null, undefined, symbol. Same like we will see that non-primitive data types are object, array, function, date object, regular expressions. So JavaScript example program. So JavaScript in this program, it is the simplest way to get started with any programming language to display hello world. So here we have used script tag to include JavaScript code inside the HTML document, and console.log function used to print messages to the browser developer console. So after running this program, you can save this program and open it into the browser. You can see hello world message. So limitation of JavaScript. So what are the limitation of JavaScript? First one, security risk, performance, complexity, weak error handling and type checking. So these are the limitations. Security risk can be used for attacks like cross-site scripting, XSS, where malicious script are injected into a website to steal data by exploiting elements like image, object, script tag. Then performance, slower than traditional language for complex tasks, but for simple tasks in a browser. Performance is usually not a major issue. Complexity, to write advanced JavaScript, programmers need to understand core programming concepts, objects, and both client and server side scripting. So, next one, weak error handling and type checking. So, weakly typed meaning variables don't require explicit types. This can lead to issues as type checking is not strictly enforced. Next one, document object model. Document manipulations. Document object model manipulation. It is the process of using a programming language, most commonly JavaScript, that is interact with and dynamically modify the structure, style and content of a web page after it has been loaded in the browser. So this document object model represents the HTML document as the hierarchical tree of objects. So that is providing an API for programmatic access. So common document object model manipulation task. So the developers use specific methods and properties to perform various manipulations, selecting elements, accessing specific nodes in the document object model trees. So there are different elements, we can follow it in the document object model. Document dot get element by ID name. Document dot get element by class name. Document dot get element by tag name. document.query selector, document query selector all selector. So document.query selector return the first match. Document.query selector all return a node list of all matches. Next, modifying contents. Changing the text or HTML within an element. So element.text content equal to new text. Element.inner HTML equal to strong, new HTML, then strong. So the content has been placed between the strong elements. Modifying attributes, getting, setting, or removing element attributes. Element dot get attribute of attribute name. Element dot set attribute of element attribute name new value. Element dot remove attribute name. So modifying styles, changing the appearance of an element. So element dot style dot color equal to if you put that single quotes between single quotes blue, so that is help you to set the inline CSS styles. Element dot class list dot class name, add class name, that is a remove function and a toggle function and preferred method using CSS classes. Creating and removing elements, dynamically adding or deleting elements from the page. So document.create elements, then you can put the tag name. So that code will be used to create a new element in memory. Parent element dot append child. So of child element, add the element to the document object model. Element dot remove the element from the document object model. Event handling, responding to user interactions like a click, key press, etc. So you can use this code element dot add event listener of event type, comma function name. So introduction to front-end framework, React. Front-end React framework refers to libraries and tools built around the core React library to provide a full structure for building complex, high-performance user interfaces. This framework abstracts complex tasks like document object model manipulation and state management, enabling developers to focus on application logic and reusable components. Core concept of React, component based architecture. Component based architecture, the UI is broken down into independent, reusable building blocks called components. This modularity simplifies development, testing, and maintenance. Virtual document object model. React creates an in-memory representation of an actual document object model. When data changes, React compare the virtual document object model with the previous version of updates only the necessary part of the real document object model, optimizing performance. JSX, a syntax extension that allows developers to write HTML-like code within JavaScript files, making component rendering intuitive and readable. This code is transferred to regular JavaScript by tools like Babel. On-way data flow. Sorry, one-way data flow. Data flow in a single direction, parent to child, ensuring predictable behavior and simplifying debugging. State and hooks. Components manage their dynamic data using state. Modern React uses hooks such as use state and use of effects to manage state and side effects in functional components. So benefit of React framework: efficiency, maintainability and scalability, performance optimization, ecosystem and community. And popular React based framework and libraries: Next.js. This is widely adapted framework for building SEO friendly, performance optimized React applications, will build in server side rendering, static site generation and routing. Gets by focus on static site generation, making it ideal for content rich websites and a blog that require high performance and security. React router, whole not a full framework, it is a standard library for handling client side routing and neighbor with a single page application with React. UI libraries, Material UI, React Bootcamp. So collection of pre-designed, reusable UI components that provide a consistent to look and feel and speed up design. Now we will see introduction to front-end framework AngularJS. Angular is a powerful and full-featured front-end framework developed and maintained by Google for building scalable single-page client applications. It provides a comprehensive set of tools and best practices out of the box, unlike libraries such as React, which typically require integration with other third parties libraries for full functionality. Angular is built around a component based architecture and uses TypeScript as its primary language, which helps provide type safety, clean, maintainable, and object oriented code. So, there are architectural concepts: components, templates, directives, services and dependency injection, routing, two-way data binding. So there are some of the key features of AngularJS: two-way data binding, directives, model view controller architecture, dependency injection, plain HTML templates, filters, routing. Advantages of AngularJS: accelerated development, simplified testing, improved server performance, strong support and community, code reusability, easy to learn. Thank you.